Welcome to the LANCave, where we're living as nerds. I'm Patrick. I'm actually solo today. I hope you still stick around and enjoy the show. It's E3 Eve. We're just a couple days away from E3. It's gonna be a little bit of a shorter show today. Don't have the usual banter between myself and Owen, but I hope you stick around and talk gaming with me. Like I said, we're coming up on E3. So right now it's kind of the dry spell before everything just unleashes. This is the calm before the storm. We talked about it last week. There's not a lot of news, but it's starting to trickle. News is starting to happen. In fact, today we had the first bit, I would consider the first bit of E3 news, kind of E3, not really a leak. It leaked before. It was one of the rumors, and it's true. Battlefield 2042 is a thing. It looks pretty. Sorry, I'm flipping over here real quick. There we go. You should see me. There we go. It looks good. I like the idea of putting this just a little bit in the future. We did this with the Call of Duty franchise already. I get it. But I like it because 2042 means you can embellish just a little bit in regards to what we're equipped with and all that. The big news on this, though, is there's no campaign, no battle royale. We're talking just multiplayer. But you know what? Battlefield is good at it. I personally, if they're putting the money into it, then I'm here to see what they can do with it, to see what they will do with it. I'm gonna say some good things. Then I'm gonna go on a slight rant because I'm tired of the complacency. 128 player battles. That's really cool. I'm trying to remember there was a game that did that 5 or 6 years ago. I can't remember what it was, but it didn't have a large IP behind it, and it wasn't as good. Hence, I can't even remember it. But it's cool they're doing that. It's cool that they're doubling down on the multiplayer aspect. So, hey, we do this well. So, okay, cool. I'm glad you do it well. Look, the visuals in this, it's so cool, but there's no campaign. So, what's the point of I don't know, I guess they could have some Fortnite-like events that are happening where you have to stop the rocket or whatever's going on. Maybe they could blend in some story. I'm one who needs a story. I need a narrative. I need to know why I'm doing something. And it looks good, but without a campaign, I don't know how to feel about this. Now I'm going to go into to a little bit of a rant because that's what you come here for. Years and years and years ago, and by years and years ago I mean 5 years ago, multiple developers came out saying, it's probably 7 or 8 years ago at this point, multiple developers came out and said, specifically talking about Call of Duty and others, talking about it's really expensive to make the campaign. It costs a lot of money to make a campaign. The multiplayer part doesn't cost as much, but the campaign is really costly. And I think it was, I can't remember which one of the Call of Duties it was that they scaled down the campaign considerably, and then the next time they didn't have one at all. And they said that's the reason is because it's really expensive. It's really expensive to make a campaign and to build something like that, and the narratives and the motion capture and the CG and everything. But they're not charging you less for the game. So they said it's expensive, it's really costly, because I think they were saying that it was 2/3 or more of the game of game development is into the campaign. The rest is in assets. The rest is in the multiplayer maps. So they literally said, cool, we're going to take 1/3 of what we used to. You know what? I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say they said we're going to increase the budget of what we would have given them for the assets and for the multiplayer maps. Let's say they increase it. So instead of 1/3 of what it used to cost, we'll say, okay, well, easy numbers, right? Easy numbers. Let's say $10 million for development. Again, easy numbers. And they were like, well, it used to cost you $3 million for the multiplayer for the assets, that means the textures, means the character models, that used to cost you $3 million. Now, the other $7 million, looks like they said, okay, well, next time we're going to give you 5 instead of 10. Do the math. 5 goes to the team that does, and we don't worry about the campaign. We just do the assets. We just do that. So they've halved their development costs. I'm not saying they have. I'm just saying theoretically they could say half my development cost, make the game, charge you full price for it. I'm not saying these games are worth $30 or $35 now. But what I'm saying is they cut the cost and you pay the same amount. They cut the cost, and their budgets did reduce. If you look at their budgets, they reduced their budgets and they charge you the same amount, and then they say it costs a lot to make these games because they're next gen. This game's not fully next gen either. I'm just double checking that because I'm almost certain PS4 do. Yep, so 128 players, PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions of the same will support 64. So it's not a next-gen game. It's a current-gen game that they're going to charge you the same amount. And again, this is something I've been ranting about for years, and Owen's not here, so I can continue to rant. They literally said, hey, it costs a lot to make the campaign. Let's just reduce the campaign. That means they're reducing the costs. Hey, let's just take out the campaign. Is this going to be a $40 game? No. So, enough. That's it for my rant. I've ranted about this quite a bit. That being said, you can look at the games in different ways, right? If you value time, if you look at a game and you say, I spent $70 and I played 100 hours and that makes sense, cool. If it's quality, if I spend $70 and I just spent for Resident Evil, so 70, 60, or whatever, Resident Evil 8, paid full price, played Resident Evil 8 Village, enjoyed it, I'm gonna platinum it, but I beat the game in less, I think 9.5 hours, 10 hours, maybe I'm off. Let's just say 10 hours. Again, easy math. 10 hours, $70, $7 an hour. That's around what you pay for a movie ticket, right? Depending on which theater you're going to. Is it quality? Can I go replay it? I haven't even touched the multiplayer mode on there yet. There's a Resident Evil, whatever. There's a multiplayer thing that came with the game. I haven't touched that yet. I'm gonna go play that. I'll platinum the game, so I'm gonna put more hours into it just because I want the platinum trophy. But if I had walked away from the game at 10 hours for $70 with that experience, it was a good experience, and I'd say I'm happy with that. Final Fantasy VII Remake. 17 hours? 19 hours? Again, easy math, we'll call it. Let's just say it was 17. That's not easy math. 15. Easy math. $60, 15. So, yeah, is it worth that? What is that? $4 an hour. Is that worth it? I think so. I had fun with it. It doesn't need to be $1 an hour. To me, you value your time. Did you get an enjoyable experience out of it? There are games I spent $60, $70 on that I played for less than 2 hours because I didn't like them, and hopefully you you get some enjoyment out of it. David in the comments, clever way to increase profits. Totally is a clever way to do it. Thanks, David. It just cracks me up that they literally tell us, hey, we're going to do this, or they don't say we're going to do this. They'll say, hey, this is always expensive for us, and then you cut it out or you reduce it. That being said, what we saw is not it's game engine footage, which is nice, but I still don't know what the gameplay modes are going to look like. I don't know if it's going to be for me. I'm not a big multiplayer fan when it comes to competitive. I like cooperative multiplayer because I'm not that great. And if I play cooperative, then, I don't feel like I'm holding my team down completely, because if it's if the better players are better on their side, I feel like I need to keep up. I need to at least be a, I can't be a schmuck on the basketball court who gets the ball stolen from him and can't dribble. Like, I can't do that if I'm going to play online. But if I play cooperative, like Borderlands and games like that, I'm against the AI. My teammates can help me out. I don't feel too bad. It's good stuff. Same with MMOs, as long as I'm not playing multiplayer. I also thought it was cool, 2042, when you had Battlefield 1942, was it 10 years ago? I think it was 12 years ago. However long ago it was. I like that aspect of it because Battlefield 1942 is one of their, more well-known Battlefield games, or one of the ones that the people tended to enjoy. So I like that aspect of it. Going from there, again, sticking with the newest stuff that is coming out. Ratchet and Clank comes out on Friday. The reviews are in. The reviews are in and looks great. Everybody's raving about it. And apologies if you don't want to see something. I don't think this is spoilery. I'm going to flip to some gameplay. I'm going to give credit here. Credit where credit is due. This footage is from Digital Foundry, and I only pulled them because they had a good, clean version of this, and it does show frame rate and everything on it. But the big takeaway here is the day one patch for Ratchet and Clank. So Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, the day one patch. So you have different modes for graphics. You have a fidelity mode, which is, I think, 4K 30. I'm sorry, I'm loving 60 frames per second so much, and you can go back and look at my videos years ago where I was like, certain games don't need it. I now feel like every game should have it. I said this because some games, the cinematic look, it does make sense for the cutscenes, but for gameplay, 60 frames, it's so smooth. I was wrong. I will be the bigger man here and say I was wrong. So you have the fidelity mode, which is if you just want it to look as pretty as possible. The best fidelity when it comes to resolution, when it comes to ray tracing, everything, you're going to sacrifice frames. Okay? So the two modes it comes with before the patch are fidelity and performance. And performance mode is 60 frames per second locked, so it won't dip, and you can get a resolution dip. Shouldn't be terrible, but I'm sorry, I've been playing a few games lately, 60 frames per second, 1080, and it looks good. It's not as good as 4K. It's not as good as 1440, but 60 frames at 1080 is great. If it plays solid. But here we have the best bang for your buck right in the middle. We have a performance with ray tracing, so it's not full-blown ray tracing. There is a difference. It's giving you the best of both worlds. So you get the 60 frames per second, you get some ray tracing, you get some buttery goodness in the frames. You also get some sugary goodness when it comes to that ray tracing, but still at the 60 frames per second. That's how I'm going to play it. Miles Morales had this patch shortly after launch, and it was great. It was wonderful. I played it when it launched, and then I played it after the patch, and yeah, you can tell. You can really tell with the ray tracing. You can see how much better the lighting effects are. I feel like you actually feel a lot of it, or it's just an enhancement, like a good sound system. It immerses you just a little bit more than if it wasn't there. If the game didn't have it, it wouldn't be bad. But once you add that, like, look at those textures, and the lighting. Once you add that, it just enhances it a little bit more, and it immerses you a little bit more. Some of the lighting effects and water effects, like for example in the Horizon Zero Dawn, actually we'll go right to that, Horizon Forbidden West, in the gameplay demo that they played for this week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. I'm gonna get that right. So about 2 weeks ago, they played this first look at the gameplay for Horizon Forbidden West, and the lighting looked great. The shine, the textures look great, and the water looks great. The water is subtle though. We've gotten to the point now where the graphics are good enough that they can look good. Like her hair can look good. All these textures can look good without having to be in your face about it, and without having them to be jarring because, wow, this is really shiny and this is not, and it doesn't look like it's in the same world. Now these things like coexist. They work together, and I feel like it's more immersive. I'm saying that as someone who's been a gamer for she's 37. I'm 37 now. Wow. So 37 years old. I've been a gamer for 34 years. I started playing games when I was about 3, and so for 34 years I've been playing games, and there were a lot of games, heck, just 20, 22, 24 years ago, where your cutscenes looked great, and then the gameplay would be or you'd have a really pretty background. Final Fantasy VII. I absolutely love Final Fantasy VII. The background is pretty, and then you have a really blocky character model. And we've gotten to the point now where everything has gotten better, where it can all exist all at the same time, and it doesn't melt your GPU. You don't need a $3,000 PC anymore to experience this. You can make a budget. Before COVID, you could make a budget PC for like $500, $600. Go look on YouTube. There are people who are like, let's make a gaming rig for $500, for $600, to compete. Because again, this was pre-COVID, and they were like, before the Xbox Series X and before the PlayStation launched, they were saying, well, okay, if they're gonna be $500, what would that look like? Like, how could I make a PC that would perform that way? And then COVID happened, and then the GPU prices skyrocketed, and people were mining Bitcoin. But regardless of that, gaming is more economical now than it's ever been. Especially if you go, I know we talk CD keys. Go to CD keys, buy your subscriptions there because you get free games with that. Go buy on CD keys PlayStation Now, PlayStation Plus and Xbox Ultimate. I bought mine for almost 50% off on every time I bought it, and I'm stacked up for a couple years. I just now got PlayStation Now through that, which was $33, I think, instead of $60 or whatever. It was 44% off of the off of a year price for it. So I'm like, yeah, I'll try it out. Anyways, now gaming is more economical than it's been, other than the GPU prices. Once, maybe towards the fall, maybe winter, I don't know. Prices will get better for GPUs. We'll be able to get those consoles, hopefully. And more people will be playing these games. They're cranking out consoles as fast as they can. Rumor is that PlayStation's redesigning their PlayStation. Sony's just redesigning the PlayStation to get ones out better in regards to the loss of chipsets. Trying to be able to make them quicker, or make one that's just as good, maybe more efficient, and still get it into your hands. So they're trying. They want to make more money. Owen in the comments, hey Owen, who's normally my co-host, asking, have I tried PlayStation Now yet? I haven't tried it yet. I picked it up, but I haven't tried it. I will be trying it. It's been a busy weekend. Busy week, busy weekend, all of that. I'll be trying it. If I don't try it this weekend, I'll be trying it next week, as I'll have a little bit more time. This week's been busy. Weekend's been busy. By the way, I didn't mention on the show today, Owen is without power. So he said hello from powerless Texas. So life happens, life happens. And again, life happens. Apologies, you can probably hear the dog barking in the other room. Puppy's playing with his sister over there, and sometimes he barks because the bone is sliding on the floor. He has like a big femur, like a cow femur. 10-month-old boxer, and he barks at it because he doesn't want to pick it up. He wants to pick it up, but it moves when he tries to pick it up. So hope you guys don't get too annoyed with the boxer. But anyways, speaking of Horizon Forbidden West, the whole reason that I popped this on as part of the segue was that the game director for Horizon Forbidden West said cross-gen development isn't limiting in any way. I'm going to take a drink for dramatic pause there. Cross-gen development isn't limiting in any way. Very careful words chosen there, by the way. Isn't limiting. So what he means is the architecture for the PlayStation and for the Xbox... he's doing PlayStation, sorry. The architecture for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, it's easy to make a PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 versions at the same time. And what he went into detail after saying that. He went into detail, and they also tweeted out the differences in Horizon Forbidden West for the PlayStation 5 version and the PS4 version. I'm gonna try to find that really quick while I'm chatting, because they've added enhancements that would be available for the PlayStation 5 that are not available otherwise. So I'm gonna throw this into right on top of the video because I'm doing this live. And boop. So there are differences in regards to... Oh, don't you tell me that. I saved it. So there are differences that... there we go. Thank you. So, by the way, if you have subscribed to us on Facebook and all those places, you'll get news like this more regularly and live-ish and very prominent. And you'll get E3 coverage, as E3 is about to happen this weekend. So Horizon Forbidden West, PS4 and PS5 differences here. PS5 version supports 60 frames. We've talked on the show. That's not too difficult to I did talk to a developer on that recently. It's not as difficult as I originally thought. 60 frames can be done. There's some... they want to make sure that they optimize when they do switch to 60, but it can be done. So 60 frames per second on PlayStation 5, good. PlayStation 5 version features the 3D audio and DualSense. Okay, of course. Well, I say of course it does. It should feature the 3D audio, the DualSense feature. So we're going to get haptic feedback and we're going to get adaptive triggers. I like that. PS5 version, also uses cinematic grade lighting system. PS4 can only use in cutscenes. So again, it's there. They can do it on PlayStation 4. They just PlayStation 4 can't handle that and handle gameplay at the same time and handle those frames. PlayStation 5 has a special rendering technique for underwater scenes. Cool. PlayStation 4 should largely be identical beyond performance and graphics. So what I wanted to elaborate on that is, he says that it hasn't been limiting. And he means that it hasn't limited what he's doing on the PlayStation 5 or what the team is doing on the PlayStation 5. But it doesn't mean that they're not spending that extra time to give you all these, to give you all this, right? And I mentioned again, I sound like I'm really a big pessimist right now. Not every company, not every developer is going to do this. Maybe they'll give you that 60 frames. And they won't do anything else. 60 frames is nice. But they could do the bare minimum and just put the game out on PlayStation 5 and then worry about it later. Put it out on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and then go, we'll patch some stuff later. They could do that and be complacent. Thankfully, the Horizon team is not doing that, which I'm very happy about, because I can't wait to play this game. And the fact that I'm getting 60 frames, I think, okay, I feel like I should. The lighting system, cinematic grade lighting system, that sounds really cool. And the water rendering technique. So I'm excited about it. Just wanted to throw that out there. One more bit I wanted to throw. Yeah, just one more thing as we one more bit of news before I end the show. Naughty Dog's hiring for a new multiplayer game, presumably Factions. Naughty Dog, I like they'll kind of be branching out a little bit here. Naughty Dog is one of my one of the development team. Sorry, one of the developers that if they're making a game, it usually ends up being pretty good quality. Obviously, Last of Us and everything. Say what you want in regards to divisiveness of that. It's an incredible quality of a product. I'm not big on multiplayer, as I said earlier, but I like to see that they're branching out from doing single player experiences. They're still going to make single player experiences though, because it's Naughty Dog and it makes money. So what can you do? So like I said, this is going to be a shorter show tonight, but I wanted to do something special. Because it is it's the calm before the storm, as I mentioned. This is it's E3 coming up, and I wanted to do something a little special and get everybody into the mood a little bit. Let me get a little book out to read for you, because I have a little something special for everyone. Get everybody just kind of get cozy as I read from my book. 'Twas the night before E3. Well, hold on. 'Twas the night before E3. Well, before E3 Eve. No publisher stirring, no dev to relieve. Peripherals were hung by the TV with care, in hopes that St. Keeley soon would be there. The gamers were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of trailers danced in their heads. Ma in her headset, and I with a snack, had just settled down for one more quick play match. When out on the lawn there rose such a tweet, I sprang from my bed to see what had leaked. Away to the window, I flew like a witch, tore open the browsers and threw up some Twitch. When what to my wondering eyes had arose but a miniature sleigh and 8 devs and CEOs. With a little old driver, so lively and swift, I knew in a moment he must be St. Jeff. More rapid SSDs, those figures they came. He giggled and shouted as he called them by name. Now Spencer, now Howard, now Struthers, Yoshida, on Bowser, on Pitchford, on Cerny, Kojima. To the top of the searches, may the internets fall. Now smash away, smash away, smash away all. He spoke not a word, went straight to the prizes, sequels, shadow drops, and new hardware surprises. And I heard him exclaim as he signed off with glee, Merry weekend to all, and to all, E3. Happy E3, everyone. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed me being stupid and reading you a little poem. And I hope that St. Keelian visits you this weekend for some prizes and some surprises. And have a great weekend.